Hey guys, today's story is called Supper. Supper is another word for dinner. People call the evening meal different things all across the world. What does your family call your evening meal? We call ours dinner. So before we begin reading the story Supper, we're going to go over some sounds and the way to spell those sounds. And we're also going to review some vocabulary words. So let's get started. The first sound is the W sound, spelled W-H. Let's see if you can read these words. Whip, win, wheel. Then we have the N sound, spelled K-N. Knox, and remember, Knox is capitalized because it's someone's last name. Knife. Then we have the S sound, spelled S-E. House. Now we have our two-syllable words. Invite, chickens, muffins, frosting. And here are our vocabulary words. The first vocabulary word is greens. Greens are leafy green plants that you can eat, such as in salad. For example, we had fresh greens with lunch yesterday. The next word is toots. Toots means beeps or honks. Bailey toots the horn on her new bike. Now we have a saying or phrase, at the wheel. So at the wheel means driving a car or other vehicle. For example, my uncle was at the wheel and I was in the back seat on the way to school today. And our last saying or phrase is red velvet. Red velvet is a red-colored cake usually topped with cream cheese flavored frosting. For example, my cousin always asks for red velvet cake on her birthday. All right, so again, we're reading from our reader Grace in Skill 6. We go to our table of contents and we look down for our story. Today's story is called Supper. Remember, supper is another word for dinner. Supper is found on page 50. So we turn in our readers to page 50. And we can begin. Supper. Grace invites two of her pals from soccer to visit her house for supper. So they're having dinner together. They are twin sisters. Their names are Kim and Jane Knox. So, where did Grace invite the twins? She invited them to her house, right? So the setting of today's story is going to be where? Right, Grace's house. And so when I look at this picture, where do you think they are in this picture at Grace's house? Well, I see a stove here, and they're mixing things on a countertop, so I would think they would be in her kitchen. Let's read the next paragraph. Grace and her mom spend the morning cooking. They gather fresh greens from the garden. They cook 2 chickens in a big pan. They bake fresh corn muffins and a cake. So I forgot to tell you guys our purpose for reading today, which is that we're reading to find out what Grace is going to cook or serve for supper. So what have we learned that they're making so far? Right, I heard someone say chickens. So it says here in paragraph 2 that they have fresh greens from the garden. So they're preparing fresh greens, maybe a salad. They cook 2 chickens in a big pan. You can see the chickens right here. And they also bake fresh corn muffins and cake. I'm guessing that's going to be for dessert. Grace gets to crack the eggs and mix the cake. Her mom lets her whip up the frosting too. And best of all, she gets to lick the spoon when the frosting is finished. Raise your hand if you like to lick frosting off of the spoon. I know I would love that. At 6, a car drives up and toots the horn. So that means honks. Mr. Knox is at the wheel. That's them, Grace shouts. She runs out to meet her classmates. So, they're here. They sit down for dinner. Kim Knox cuts the chicken with her knife. Yum, she says. This chicken is the best. It's so much better than the stuff our dad makes. Jane nods. She would tell Grace how good the chicken is, but her mouth is stuffed with chicken. Save room for cake, Grace says. After supper, Grace brings in the cake she and her mom made. She helps her mom slice up the cake. Ooh, says Kim. What sort of cake is it? What kind of cake do you think it's going to be? Let's see if you're right. Red velvet, says Grace. Yum, says Kim. Can we visit next weekend too? So, do you think the girls enjoyed their supper together? Right, I think so too. So, and do you think that that Jane and Kim enjoyed the meal? I definitely think so. They want to come back next weekend too. All right, so I have a couple questions for you. Who is coming over for supper? Yes, if you said 2 sisters or twin sisters, you are right. Their names are Kim and Jane Knox, and it says that right here in paragraph 1. They are twin sisters. Their names are Kim and Jane Knox. So that's who's coming over for supper. What are Grace and her mom cooking for supper? Yes, they're definitely making chickens. They're making fresh greens, so probably a salad. And if we look on this page, it looks like the greens might have been green beans, so not salad. And it also said they baked fresh corn muffins and a cake. Why does Kim say she wants to visit next weekend too? Give examples of something Kim says that helps you to know. So Kim says she wants to visit next weekend too. Why did she say that? Right. I think Kim really enjoyed the meal with her friends and her sister, right? And she wants to come back next weekend. She said, "Yum, this chicken is the best. It's so much better than the stuff our dad makes." And then she also says, "Ooh, what sort of cake is it?" So she seems to really be enjoying herself. All right, well, that's all I have for you guys today. There are story questions to go along with the story today. It's 17.1. It can be found in your workbook page, or you can find it in Google Classroom. I'll post the link with this video as well. See you guys later.